Welcome to The Source with your host, Dr. C.T. Curry, and co-host Coby Owens. News all across the nation. The Source. Stay in the loop in the city of Wilmington, Delaware. Work together for change in the community. A call to action to find the resources. The Source, the latest in news.
Good evening. This is Dr. Curry.
This is Coby Owens.
And welcome to The Source. Coby, it has been a cold day outside, snow, shutting things down. And even though I saw that a lot of airports were shut down, but everywhere I had to fly this weekend, I was able to get there and get there safe. But this snowstorm has really put us on a freeze.
It has. And I think, I'm glad that we can get a little bit out and about right now, but roads are still bad. Yeah. The state did good on the highways and stuff like that, but a lot of these side neighborhoods are still struggling to shovel out. Well, there was a lot of snow.
Yes, and matter of fact, even our parking lot, as you see, we got it cleared up pretty good, but not to the level it needs to be. We're going to spend a little bit of time in a few minutes talking about that, because there are some people who are even complaining that their streets are still just not plowed, other than what the cars have rolled down. But we're going to get onto that in a minute. I do want to start off, as we always do, to talking about the murder or any shootings that are happening in and around our city. And we did happen to have one particular incident that had two shootings in it.
Yes.
And one person is still critical. What do we know about it?
So there was a shooting in the middle of the snowstorm on Monday. A 21-year-old man was left in critical condition, and a 16-year-old boy was also injured. Both shot and transported to the hospital. They're both still alive right now, but one is in critical condition still to this moment. Police are investigating what caused this shooting, but it happened in the East 23rd and North Pine Street area there around 2:32 p.m. So again, that's the height of it. Like, it is still snowing pretty heavily. Yeah,
and I just try to get an idea. You're talking about a minor and an adult, both of them are young.
Yeah.
And what could have even been the motive for that? Is there any comments or not comments? People may have been talking on the street.
So again, this could have been something domestic. This could have been something that happened inside the house, and then it kind of just spilled out, and they grabbed guns. I think the police are looking at all different avenues right now. But again, this is something that it's the first shooting of the year, second shooting of the year.
Okay.
Again, they're going to be looking at this one particularly to be interesting because of the conditions outside as well too. There was already maybe about 5-6 inches of snow outside. Right,
and that's really interesting. Though, as I saw that, I said, "Wow, this is." I don't know what I can relate it to. That's what I was trying to get us some sense of it. What we can relate it to, but we don't know what goes on in people's homes. We don't know what's going on in the neighborhood. But we just hope and trust that the young man survives this, and that we can get to the bottom of it. And knowing Chief Campos and his crew, they're going to get to the bottom of it. Because just as an update this week, I want to update you all on there was an arrest made in the downtown Wilmington shooting. While some people may go think some things are put to bed, no, there was an update. They did a arrest. Tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah, so a shooting took place in early December in downtown Wilmington. And they recently arrested Edward Shepard, 29 years old, without any incident this past Friday, right before the snowstorm. He's charged with first-degree attempted murder, weapons counts for shooting, and on the December 3rd shooting that left a man in critical condition. So again, they are doing a good job. He's currently being held at Howard R. Young Correctional Institution on a $680,000 cash bond. They're doing a great job with figuring out what is going on with some of these shootings that are going on around the city of Wilmington. So hopefully they keep this rate up good under Campos.
Yeah, you said two things that was really important. I want to make sure that those who are watching us are paying attention to it. And one, this was the second incident of shooting in our community for this year, meaning the year 2026. I think that is awesome because by this time we had more
Yes.
already, and for it to be down to the level that it is, we want to continue to say hats off to the Wilmington Police Department, because we were the critics. I mean, we got to be honest with each other, but we also knew what the problem was.
Right.
It wasn't so much that it was the chief, it was the police officers, it was the leadership, meaning the mayor at that current time, who really was just about building buildings and bricks and things of that nature. But hats off to them for not only keeping the crime down and engaging our community to the level that they are engaging, also for the fact that they are solving some of the crimes that are being committed, and I think that's huge. How long do you think Campos is going to stay? He's a Wilmingtonian.
He's a Wilmingtonian,
so he probably will stay around. But people are looking at him, I'm sure.
Yeah, I just hope he doesn't get poached to go to a bigger city, more pay. He is our highest paid employee, is public record. But hopefully he does stay here.
Yeah, I every time I start seeing the success of someone, especially in these smaller towns and states, unless they are rooted in that community, which he is somewhat, but money sometimes make you say, "I'll see you later."
Yeah.
Better opportunities, especially when the heat of other things happen. But I'm grateful for what his leadership is doing for our city. I want to also say that something you brought up, and just so you have clarity, the Shepherd young man who is in a young correction facility on a $680,000 cash bail. Could you explain to the people, what is a cash bail? What is that all about?
Yeah, so there's multiple different levels of bails, and cash bail is pretty much it's the legal payment that you have to make in order to get out of jail. Now there's what is it called? It's the cash only bail. You have which is you have cash only, and then you also have when you have to put an asset up, right?
Okay.
So the cash only is the amount of money in which you have to put down. Now, what happens, sometimes you could go to a bail bondman,
Right.
And pay them a portion of that money. And it could be 10%, it could be 20%, depending where you go. And they'll put the full bond down for you, and then they get their money back when you return, but they get to keep that smaller portion.
The reason why I wanted you to explain that, especially the bond part, I never understood, for example, if they tell you, let's say if your bill is $1,000,
Yes.
and they tell you to put down 10%, the $100 that you have to pay the bondsman, and whatever fees they have, but the $100 you have to pay them, once you have gone back to court and the case is finished, I thought that the $100 come back to you, but it doesn't. It goes to them.
It comes back to you if you just paid the $100, right? So most people don't have that money on hand, and usually you go to a bail bondsman when it's a higher, right? And when it's in the hundred thousands, right? Or even the tens thousands, right? A part of them putting down that large lump sum of money is them getting that payment back as well too. So they get their money back, but then they make money from that 10%, 20%.
Right. So the 10% or 20% that you pay,
Yes.
in order for them to pay the big bill,
Right.
you don't get that back.
Correct.
Okay, and I want to make sure that's clear, especially to seniors, because there are some grandchildren who have gone to their grandmothers and saying, "Look, Mom, I'm going to go to court. I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do. Could you just at least give us the 10% so that we can keep me out of jail?" The grandmother, the person pays the money, thinking they're going to get the 10% back, but they don't get any of that money back. And it shocked me, because when I thought, I was under the assumption that they do get the 10% back, and the bondsman gets all of his money back. It's just him doing it in good faith.
No, so you have property bonds as well
Right.
too. That's usually, hey, can you leverage your deed to your house or whatever car. But yeah, no, that 10% that goes back to a bail bondman. And then some you have to pay the full on cash. Like if they set it at a certain way, you have to pay the full amount no matter what, and you don't get that back. Got
you. All right, and let me move on down to the governor had done a state of emergency. I think it was on Saturday night, and he ended it on Monday because the snow was really big. Did you get any predictions of how much snow we received?
Yeah, so throughout the state, we received different levels. I think the most in Wilmington was 8 inches.
Oh, wow.
And then, that got compounded when people started plowing out and piling stuff up and getting cars stuck. But overall, the state got hit hard.
Yeah.
Especially Newcastle County and Kent County, which took a little bit more time to open up. On Monday, we went into a level 2 driving warning, which means only those with waivers, public utilities, first responders, and high up government officials should be on the road moving around. That was changed to a level 1 on Tuesday, but a lot of the county is still recovering from, to this moment, is still recovering from this snowstorm. And I know that there's been predictions that there may be some snow coming potentially this weekend.
Yeah.
From the latest updates that I have, it has moved more eastern, which means it won't directly hit us.
Right.
It'll hit like the beach towns, the coastal area on the East Coast.
Yeah, well, this snow has really created a lot of problems for some of the residents in Wilmington. I happen to reside in Bear, where it was pretty good. I mean, we didn't have much, and I had to fly out on Monday, so I was able to get out of my driveway and get on the main roads, and everything was fine. But as I came down to the city, even now, it is still snow that is taller than you. I don't understand. So is it the trucks are too big to get down these streets? What is going on with this?
No, it's just certain streets weren't prioritized. And again, I think, the workers that were out there, they did their very best. I want to give a shout out to whoever was driving truck SC 1911. They did a good job for the blocks that they had over in my area. But
was your street on that area?
My street was on.
So they probably knew you was going to be on this show, so they did that very good for you.
But they had a few blocks over my way. Now, I will say, once I was able to get out and drive around in the Jeep, I was able to see the conditions of the other streets. I've been making phone calls, sending emails constantly to try to get the rest of these streets done in the city. But unfortunately, in my district to be particular, but unfortunately, a lot of that wasn't prioritized by the administration. They focused on the main streets, which is fine. But I think, 72 hours out,
right,
you should have been on those side streets. You should have been on the number streets going down already, and we just haven't seen that yet.
And they said that it turned more to ice, which it did, but if we have the right equipment, that should not matter.
Right.
When you have people who have to get to work, and most of the time when you have people in the city, these are people who have to go to work.
Yes.
They don't have those luxury jobs where they can stay home and it's all right, got a couple free days. And as a matter of fact, we had offered a service here at the church for those employees. A lot of people were Ubering, and they said in the morning, Uber was charging 3 times the rate that it would normally cost.
It's their driver safety as well, too. They're out on this road, and not all Uber drivers got a special waiver to be on the road. DoorDash, Instacart, all those people who are not paid like essential workers, who were out there, who really help people either get to work, get food that they didn't prepare for prior. Again, I think they should be paid more, but that's a whole nother debate.
Yeah, that is. I'm glad to hear you. Well, sometimes I do hear you say people need to be paid more because you're very much for the liberality of the world. But I was just shocked when I heard the fare from where a person lived that I knew where they were living at to get to work, how much it was. So we did offer a service on one day that week to drop people off, because we do have vans here as well, just to help out the employees the best of our ability. But I'm glad that it's over. I hope we don't get nothing else like that in a long time. I even gave away, because we don't really get any snow, I really gave away my blower because I used to go and help people. I look forward to snow because I'm from Philadelphia, but Delaware really never had any real snow. About 6 or 7 years ago, we did have a good one, and that's when I bought it. Then I got rid of it because it was just sitting there, and now we had another big one. So I don't know.
Yeah, a snowblower would have been nice.
Yes,
would have been nice. I'm a little disappointed in the young folk out there when we used to have snowstorms.
Oh, man.
In the early 2000s.
We become rich.
Great opportunity to get some money and be out there.
And you said you're a little, see, don't start with me, because when you start talking about you're a little disappointed with this generation is interesting. If it's not Nintendo, because that shows my age. If it's not that
Xbox or PlayStation 5.
If it's not that, they're not interested. If they can snow remove from the Xbox, I'm certain that they will be able to just be the greatest in the world. They're not into doing any hard work. They're not into doing anything in the cold. and mothers and fathers are enabling them to the place where I remember I made my most money.
Yeah, you make good money out there, and then you come back inside. And then you get on the Xbox while you.
No, that's your generation. We didn't have an Xbox in my generation. In my generation, you shoveled in the morning to get all the people out of their driveways or whatever you got to do. Made all your money. Then you go out and play football. That's how we did it. Because we couldn't do what y'all do.
Snow football, it is fun.
Yeah.
But I think right now, if I was trying to get out there, I would slip and slide and fall.
Well, you're older now, but I'm just saying this generation ain't as old as you are.
They were not out
and they are not going to be out there. But I was very glad to see in New York. Yeah. They did go out to Central Park against the mayor's desire, and they were out there, and I was like, this is really great. And matter of fact, I even did some shoveling on purpose because I knew I had to leave out early Monday morning, and I did some shoveling in my driveway, and they were laughing at me and saying, I must have got old or something, but I was able to get the job done. Yeah.
Me and my neighbor, we stopped and looked at each other because there was some kids out there having a snowball fight. After we had just shoveled everything out and they was getting the snow on our sidewalk. And we're both young, we looked at each other. We both thought the same thing at first, and then we said, I'll let it go. We were like, I just shoveled that.
Yeah.
But no, it was good to see some of the kids come outside, but they weren't out there long.
Trust me.
They got hit with a few snowballs.
Even the dogs. Okay, I have a poodle and a miniature poodle, and I have a Morkie. And let me tell you, the poodle, he's a puppy, so he was out there going crazy for a little while. He even came in. He said, "I can't take this." Yeah, and the little Morkie, she just fritzy. She just she ain't is too much for her. Real quick, I just want to also bring up before my time is up. I'm concerned, Coby, about the amount of time schools are closed. After what happened in COVID and how much it set our community back, it's now more than ever before time for us to think about how we're doing schooling. We're talking about this busing children everywhere. Teachers are not living in our communities. It could be 12 inches of snow sometimes. Maybe we might get a half a day. Okay, we may get a day. But it's to a place where they went almost online, and some schools are still online. And let me just say this to you, not the privates too much, because my child's school, she went to school on Tuesday morning. I don't understand how we are thinking that it's okay for our kids to be out of school.
Yeah, I know the 4 major school districts that touch the city of Wilmington, they've all been closed all week or have done asynchronous or virtual learning these last few days. And there is a difference. Asynchronous is when the teacher just emails you everything that you have to get done, and you have certain deadlines to get it done by, whether it's the end of the day or end of the week or whatsoever. Virtual is you're in class, but it's via Zoom. And then, of course, if the school's closed, the school's closed. So there's been different days, especially Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But I do agree with you. It's better for them to be in the classroom. I saw during the pandemic the difficulties teachers were having trying to keep the kids' attention when they're on virtual learning, especially when you have a TV in the background. You have a sibling in the room as well too. A parent may not be sitting right next to them, making them do what they have to because they're also on virtual doing their work, right? All different types of stuff. The kid could just get up and go to the fridge and get a snack if they want to go to the bathroom. So that structure isn't there for them.
Yeah, and I'm going to be more adamant than I was before. that we need to bring our schools back to our communities. We just need to do it. I think that there are people in my generation and before my generation who can testify that the teachers that we had who were from the community, they taught us well. They strengthened us. We were an educated people. We may have been poor, but we were able to get out of our poverty because we got a very good quality education. And I hear many people testify around here in Wilmington about some of the teachers that lived in their communities. I just don't understand why they just feel, okay, well, I understand. Well, let me just say this because I can hear somebody saying, well, it's snowing. You expect people to drive on the snow. No, I expect us to start setting up systems where they are back in our communities so we can walk. Because even though you may not be able to drive in and maybe the driveways are still full, we should be able to walk to school. And honestly, I had to walk 1.5 miles every day. And I'm not an old fogey. I'm not 100 years old. Why is it that we have enough resources right here in the city to have every level of school where children can walk to school and be safe? But I just don't understand it, and I think that's just something I continue to argue about, and I'm just going to continue to argue about it. Bring the schools back to the city. That's what I want to the community that the people live in, and I think we'll be stronger and we'll be better. The last thing I wanted to just touch on real quickly, and we're going to touch on it, then I'm going to take a quick break, is the removal of the head of ICE in Minnesota. Was that a political move? Do you think do you think Trump didn't believe in his philosophy? What was that about?
So I think Trump wanted someone stronger in his pro-MAGA, American First tactics that he's using right now, which has caused all this even more chaos to happen in Minnesota. And now it is American citizens versus ICE at this point.
Yeah.
It is, what is happening in Minnesota is sad, but the officers there are just lawless.
Yeah.
And
the ICE agents.
The ICE agents. And now there's even the new acting director there is again implementing to the T exactly what Trump wants. He wants this. What is happening in Minnesota, he wants this.
Yeah, how do you have 3 times the size of a police department of ICE agents and don't expect there to be chaos?
Yeah.
The training. Did you hear about how because he's president number 47, that they need 47 days of training to deal with the stuff that they have to deal with, and this is why we're having all the problems we're having.
Yeah. No. I mean, first off, we should have known issues like this was going to arise when they were struggling to recruit ICE agents.
Yeah.
47 days of training is not enough time. And most of these people are just vigilantes who are racist, who signed up for ICE to get that big signing bonus.
Yeah.
Of, I believe, $50,000
Yes.
signing bonus.
And they get 10,000. It's a couple things they get out of that. Yeah.
So again, you can see that they have no clue what they're doing. The ICE agent who killed Renee Good, who killed Keith Power, who killed Alex Petit the other day as well too. These are all American citizens being killed by an agency that has no law enforcement oversight over American citizens. But these people believe that they're police officers or something.
Yeah. Well, I think Minnesota's doing the best they can to push back, but the federal government's too big. It's overwhelming them, and it's just not fair. I saw the town hall that CNN did. I hope and trust that some kind of relief comes right away. But you had made a comment that they were on their way to Philly. Did you hear what the Attorney General for Philadelphia had to say?
No, Larry Krasner.
Let me tell you, he's come on.
Well,
he used colorful words. I mean, I can't even use his words.
I know the sheriff, Sheriff Bilal of Philadelphia County, also stated that if they come and try that foolishness, her office will hunt them down.
Yeah.
And prosecute them.
Yeah.
And I know Larry Krasner, so I can see him going on that same line there. But this is a very real thing.
Now you know them too. I know one too, and that's Sherelle Parker. Okay, I know her very well. It's going to be okay. See, silent. Sometimes people think still waters is shallow, but still waters are deep. I think they're waiting. They don't want it to happen. None of us want it to happen, but I think they're waiting in anticipation. There's going to be even though Trump wants there to be some kind of big blow up,
Civil war,
but it might turn out where not the way he wanted to be. And when I start hearing some of these comments coming out of Philadelphia, I said, oh wow, I think they're going to meet their match. But Minnesota is very small. They overwhelmed them and they tried to bully them, and they fought back. The residents, hats off to the residents, hats off to the community of in Minnesota, because they really took care of each other and is taking care of each other during this season. I just hope and trust that they'll be fine. We're gonna have to take a quick commercial break because I can feel the tension of you got to take a break, and we'll be right back.
Home. It's the place where we go to feel secure, safe, and loved. But for thousands of youth living on the streets, there's no such thing as home. Out here, it's a predatory world that can destroy lives forever. At Covenant House, we give at-risk youth a place to go where they feel safe, supported, and people care about their future. A place to call home. To help or get help, go to safeplacetosleep.org.
One more time before you wake up in the wild. In your eyes, I see a flower slowly dying.
Together with the Nature Conservancy, you have the power to make a difference. For unspoiled nature, for beautiful wildlife, and for people everywhere. Together, we can find a way to ensure that all life on Earth can thrive.
Oh, in the wild, you're gonna make it. The moonlight is here to take you.
Our natural world needs us now. Every day, we lose more lands, waters, and the wild species that depend on them. To learn more, visit nature.org today.
Hear our praiseworthy choirs every Sunday, including the Israel Men's Praise Team.
I feel it inside of me, telling me to go ahead.
The E Zion Men's Choir.
We will win, we will fight. We will win,
The Rockin' with Jesus Youth Choir.
Open your mouth, say something. Open your mouth. Open your mouth, say something. Say something. Open your mouth, say something.
The Shabbat Praise Team.
You can have it. Reach up and grab it.
The Dodd Choir.
It's sorrow, my hope for tomorrow. My
The J.L. Henry Choir. The Jones Family Praise Team.
God is my everything. Come on, y'all, put your hands together. Hey, one more time, God.
And the Judah Youth Praise Team.
keep on smiling.
Inquire about joining the music ministry by calling the church at 302-652-9114.
And we're back. Coby, what's going on with the Coby Corner?
Yeah, so we were just talking about what was going on in Minnesota, and a friend of mine who I've worked with for years, Representative Olhan Omar, was doing a press conference. She represents that area in which ICE agents are killing U.S. citizens. She was doing a press conference. At the same time, President Trump was again trouting how he's going to deport more Somalis, has been going after her because she is the first Somalian to serve in Congress. She is now a U.S. citizen. She was a refugee and got her citizenship over here. Now she represents that community in Congress, has called her a fraud, has attacked her, says she's not American and she should be deported as well too. A man attacked her during that press conference. He had a syringe full of some type of liquid.
Yes, apple cider vinegar.
Apple cider vinegar that the FBI said. The Minnesotan police, Minneapolis police, said that they don't know if that's what the substance was. So there is a difference between the FBI and the police. But some type of liquid substance was sprayed at her as he lunged at her. But she did not back down.
Did you see her?
She was ready to throw hands.
She had the hand up, like come on.
She
I'm gonna
was
show
ready.
you. My little fist will hurt you.
She was ready to throw hands before security
Yeah.
stepped in and grabbed the guy up. I just want to say it's a contrast to when someone jumped on the stage when Trump was campaigning. And he cowered up like that.
Yeah, that big fist went to it. Yeah.
Right.
Because most bullies are that way.
But you know, when he got that ketchup on his ear, his fist was in the air.
Yeah.
They stopped for the photo shoot. You know, I think one of the things here with this situation is it is a growing community out there that is so disillusioned with what's going on right now and so in love with Trump that they're willing to do anything. And that means attacking Democratic officials all across this country. You know, Minnesota is also where Melissa Hortman was killed, and Senator Horseman was also shot as well too. You have had that the president still has not said anything about. And just with the ongoing stuff in Minnesota, this administration, after having the couple who pulled their guns in St. Louis on peaceful protesters who were just walking past their house, never touched their property, had them as the RNC speakers, and had Kyle Rittenhouse, and who traveled illegally across state lines to kill protesters, had him as a speaker and praised him, and had him as an advisor for his campaign in 2024, has come out extremely hard against Alex Petit, who was gunned down by ICE agents in Minnesota, and said, no one comes to a peaceful protest with a gun.
Oh my goodness.
And that was the narrative that all the Republicans started tweeting out and pushing out in videos. And then the NRA said, whoa. We've been pushing a good guy with a gun is always okay narrative for decades. How are you going to say this now? And the NRA put out a strong statement against the Trump administration, denouncing their language and saying that the NRA unequivocally believes that all law-abiding citizens have the right to keep and bear arms anywhere that it is legal to be. He was on a public street in the public. You know where it is illegal to carry a gun at?
The Capitol.
In the U.S. Capitol. And, you know, the people from January 6th, or the J6 as Trump likes to call them, they were the ones who were there illegally when they wanted to hang Vice President Mike Pence. May not agree with him on any policy, but I do not believe that anyone should be put in harm's way.
Right.
They were in Speaker Pelosi's office with their guns. They were going through the Capitol building. They were attacking police officers, but yet they were all pardoned at the beginning of this term by Donald Trump. So again, this is what we're dealing with right now, and this is what Olhan was talking about with her demands that ICE immediately leaves the city of Minneapolis and leave Minnesota as well too. Like you said, The Trump administration has announced that they will be coming to Philadelphia next. I just want to say they tried that in Chicago. They tried it in Detroit. They even tried it in LA, and it didn't work. It is not going to work in Philly, and don't even think about coming down here to Delaware.
That's what the fear is.
So again, we want to make sure that we're protecting our communities. On the local level, again, Public Works here in the city of Wilmington is still working to plow streets. Like I said earlier, there were some drivers who did a good job. There were some who didn't. The city is constantly working to rectify what is wrong and get these streets. This was a once-in-a-decade storm where we saw more storm than we usually get. And again, people are like, oh, but why don't you have the equipment like they have over in Russia or in Canada? That costs money, everyone. And for every $400,000 that the city has to put out in new equipment, new staffing, that's a 1% increase to property taxes. And the city is already on a very constrained budget right now. So again, we can't go get I've been asked this, we can't go get the truck that has the fire that comes out, that melts all the ice, and then have, the truck that sucks up all the water. Those are expensive. The operators to operate those
They have
trucks
such a truck like that?
They have it in Canada. But they're used to snow like this, right?
yeah.
It's an investment like that. They have snow so often.
yeah.
We do not down here.
I like that.
Right?
Okay.
It's
Maybe we can raise an offering for it.
But the city is working to do their best. Please be careful on these streets. If you are driving, make sure you stop at the gas station and check your your tire pressure and your tires. What happens in the cold sometimes, your tires deflate a little bit, what can cause for slipping as well too. Do not overinflate because that can also cause you to slip as well too. Read the manual on your car, look it up on Google on how much air should be in your tires just to be safe on these roads. And again, please don't speed.
Everybody's
please
always in a
don't
hurry.
speed.
They're always in a hurry.
It's okay to be late right now. This is a perfect excuse.
Unless you work for Curry. Leave early.
It is okay to say the roads were icy. I couldn't get here on time.
Okay. But let that be the reason.
Let that be the reason.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Next, I just want to talk about city politics. So we are back in session. It is budget time. I have put in numerous budget requests, but one of the biggest is I asked for $3 million for permanent supportive housing for those who are unhoused. And I want to talk about my reasoning behind that. As you saw, we opened up the Hicks Center. The state did not open up their welcome centers here in the city of Wilmington, so we, the city, did that.
Stop there. They didn't do what?
They did not open up the state welcoming centers.
Where's state welcoming centers?
So the closest to the park would be Howard High School.
Okay.
Which was not opened up until later on Tuesday. The snowstorm hit Sunday into Monday.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So again, we opened up Hicks in order to bring all those people who were out in the park, who were unhoused, into somewhere that is warm, into the gym. And people throughout the city of Wilmington, the police were going through and escorting people over there who needed some help. Volunteers were telling people to start making their way towards the Hicks and other Code Purple sites such as Sam's Church on Shipley Street, to be able to really make sure that they're helping people. With that, again, Hicks stayed open for 3 days for individuals to stay in there. It took that much time to get vouchers from the state to be able to put people in hotels and motels for 7 days. But if I'm being honest, this should have been activated. We knew this storm was going to be bad. Those vouchers should have been activated and ready to go Saturday, not Tuesday, not Wednesday, not Thursday after the storm, but Saturday before the storm, to make sure people were in their proper housing and proper
that's a state
spaces
function.
It is.
And I'm just really concerned about the people who are around our governor, who's really advising him, because that is it's a human. I mean, you know that this is going to happen. You said finally they did deliver some vouchers. Why weren't the vouchers delivered from the front door?
That is a very good question. The point of contact for the city was someone who didn't know the city. And it wasn't until that point of contact was changed to someone who knows the city very well. And that is former Representative Sherry Dorsey Walker, who is working with that to coordinate that stuff, and she got it done for us. So I want to give.
But see, that's you can give your shout out in a second. But that's what I'm trying to say. Okay, she should, knowing that there's who is around the governor. We got to figure that out, and I'm going to figure it out. Because you would think the folks who put him in office that he would be very spot on. Like, let's take care of this community, and the people. Sherry Dorsey Walker was one of the ones who very much supported him. But the point is, she should have been in there in the front end so there'd be no criticism, because there was a lot of criticism on the fact that there was a slow response from the state. I'm not going to deny that.
No, absolutely, and I think everyone was feeling it. To be honest, all levels of government got pushback about their slow response to this. And again, yes, this is a once in a lifetime storm, but again, we have to do better. We have to do better making sure that we're answering the call in the future. Yeah,
I'm sure we will, but who we put around us matter.
Yes.
And that's all I'm going to keep saying. I'm going to keep saying that until our response happens. We got to put the right people around us so that we can be successful. And our focus cannot be on the things that are ahead when we're in a current bad situation. And I'll get into that at some point, but I'll leave it there for right now.
And again, moving to my last subject, which is just city politics and an update there. Like I said, we're in budget time right now. We're putting different requests in. I talked about the homeless situation and the need for permanent supportive housing there, and why it's so important to make sure that we're addressing this. But also, we have to look at the affordability of the city of Wilmington. The only true direct link to homelessness is affordability when it comes to housing and opportunity there. And we as a city should be investing in how do we create more opportunities for cost-efficient, affordable housing to be built here, whether it's home ownership opportunities or rental opportunities. And I just want to say, we do not have starter homes anymore. And starter homes is homes that families, you're building your family, fiancés, newly married couples, they may move in, stay there while they have their first kid, and then move out to a bigger house once they're ready to expand their family or higher paying jobs or whatsoever. We do not have that any longer. And it has created a true strain on our community to try to find that additional housing. And they want to build housing for that next step, but even the families who are in the old starter homes, they're still not prepared to move up right now because the wages have not kept up with inflation.
Now, in Delaware, not with inflation, but because Delaware inflation is kind of high. But let me just say this to you, and I want to give a little credit to this current mayor, because his team has been, they saw what we did with the seniors, and they have reached out to me. How can we work together to try to get some more of this affordable housing? I know my specialty area is seniors, and we are looking at a big city, city where we have more than senior needs here, and I'm gonna stick with seniors because that's where my specialty is. But I will give them credit. They are trying to see what properties they have with the land bank. They're trying to see how we can do some more affordable housing. I am big right now on figuring out how we're going. If the city will give you the property or the land, there should be some restrictions, Coby, where you can't sell this house. It has to be a real affordable. It can't be, well, it cost us $2 million to build it, and you don't got the $2 million from the government or from the city, and then you charging what it would cost. No, you're giving it to people who are doing starter, who is low income, who may be below the poverty rate, and you're giving them an opportunity to get themselves together. I don't know why people are not paying attention to that. You got these developers, they're building all these houses, and now the mandate from the government is that you got to build some affordable housing. But look at the affordable housing that they're building. Who can afford $300,000 or $400,000 in the city?
Right.
It's just, it doesn't work. So I just wish that somebody would take a real serious look at what affordability is, and let's react to that. Because I try to do that with our project. And honestly, Coby, when I looked at some of the incomes of the seniors who are now living in our facility, some of them were living off $100 or $200 a month. Meaning, after they paid their rent, they may have had $100 or $200 left over. That's not fair, Coby. How you spend that at Burger King?
Right. That is a shame, and that should never happen.
But that's why you said there's a link where between homelessness and not homeless, but unhoused, and those who are housed. Is that it's an affordability issue, and we're going to do better. Anything else you have, Coby? I'm sorry.
That's all I have for today.
Well, let me get ready to start my argument, because I want to really talk about this state representative race that's coming up, and I know people are saying, "You still talk about that?" Yeah, because it's being talked about. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Join us live for our weekly worship. On Facebook and YouTube.
Well, Pastor, I'm doing the best I can, but I still gotta have a little Chardonnay, and I still gotta have a little this, and I gotta still sneak around. The devil is a liar. That's an excuse.
Wilmington's most exciting church.
We are women first, but women with disabilities last.
During a military exercise, we crashed and I broke my neck.
When I was in the Air Force, an accident changed my life. I couldn't have imagined the injustices I would face.
Every day, women like me go to the doctor for annual checkups for conditions like breast cancer. Early detection saved my life. But women with disabilities face a cruel reality: inaccessible medical facilities and equipment.
In the 25 years since my injury, I have not seen a gynecologist. There's not one accessible OBGYN in my community.
I found lumps in my breast. I went to a doctor's office I was told was accessible. But when I got there, I couldn't get through the front door.
I don't know where I'd be today without access to testing. Our veterans deserve better. Help PVA fight for access at pva.org.
And we're back. Coby, at the end of our show today, I wanted to talk a little bit about the state representative race.
Yes.
You know, some people say it's quiet down. No, I've been hearing, everywhere I go, people are talking about Sinead Darby and, how do you say his name again? Namdi. And I really need to learn how to say his name. But it's just interesting, and I know you're supporting, you know, the more liberal person, and I'm all right with that. And I don't know who I'm supporting at this point. I can't believe that this is being talked about to this level. And do you think we need to call a debate for that?
Oh yeah, I would definitely love to see a debate. They did a debate in 2022, and it was definitely one of the most viewed debates that we did during that year. It was in a studio, so they were the only two candidates there, the only two people in the room. But I would love to do a live debate to see what the community is feeling, how they're feeling, and what we can do, and what the community wants to see as well too. But this one will probably definitely be one of the top viewed state rep races out there.
Yeah, and what's your predictions?
I think it's going to be close no matter what.
Okay.
It was within 90 votes last go round, but a lot of things have changed recently. A lot of people are not happy with the state on a state level, so I think that could play into it as well too. And again,
well, can it also play into that a lot of people may not be happy with some of the things that happen even on the city level?
That is very true.
Because I'm going to be very honest with you. Some of the comments I've heard was, we don't want a firecracker down in the state. And there's some people saying, I want one down there. So it's like, I kind of agree with your assessment. I'm with your assessment. It may be close, because I'm not saying she's a firecracker. For those of you who don't send me no letters, I don't want to hear it. I just want to tell you what I've been hearing. I had to stop in there and say that real quick. But there are people who are just saying, I can't vote for him because of what he did, A, B, C, and D. And then there's some saying I can't vote for her because of A, B, C, and D. So I've been hearing mixed reviews.
I think what you're going to have is well, you may even have someone else, a third person, jump in that race there as well too. I think when you look at like disapproval ratings, right, you look at where they're running, right? So while she may not have an overall, while there may be some disapproval for people from her district that she currently represents, that's a very small portion of where she's running, whereas his disapproval is across his district as well, too.
Okay.
So again, it will be interesting to see. I think at the end of the day, they're both going to have to do a hard time presenting, like, what is their vision for the future and how they can distinguish themselves from one another other than the personal attacks.
Now, let me ask you a question. So, do they do polling on that?
Usually not at those levels.
So what makes you think that his viewership is not viewership, but his popularity may be low?
So I also share a district with the state rep, and when they are upset with their state reps, they call and email their city council people to tell, hey, my state rep's not doing the right thing, do something about it. And again, we're on two different levels of government. I have no control over the state. The state has some control over the city, but they can't like tell me, oh, yeah, I can't introduce that legislation, I can't support that legislation. So it is a separation of government in that fact. And I try to explain that to people as well, too. I try to reach out. He's unresponsive to people who he doesn't like, regardless of the issue. Yeah.
Okay.
So
I never really had any dealings with him at all. I know at one point he was with the what's the old city council president?
Hanifa Shabazz?
No, not Ted.
Theo Gregory.
Theo Gregory.
Mm-hmm.
There was some bad blood there a little bit, but I, it's been so long ago. I have not had a chance to have any real interactions with him. But I did have some interactions with Shanae. She was on our show at one point.
Mm-hmm.
But I just really want to see how this is going to turn out. Now, you made a comment, I don't let things go. You said there may even be a third person in the race. Do you think that would be something somebody will squeeze in to ensure a victory, or do you think that may be a natural occurrence?
I think someone will squeeze in to try to make sure that there's some division there. We either have another council person who changed their voter registration, I won't say any names, who represents the city at large and supposed to be the minority candidate. But
how could that be? I asked you that when that happened. If you're supposed to be the minority candidate, how do you change your stuff in the middle of the race, in the middle of a service?
No one's willing to challenge it as of right now. They're saying that he was elected as the minority candidate. It doesn't say you have to stay the minority candidate. So there may be some loopholes there. It's intention versus how it's written and everything. Some clarifying language may need to be taken care of. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. And who knows what he may run for.
Okay, well, we're gonna see. Stay tuned. That's all we can tell everybody. Stay tuned. Well, what's going on with the midterms? Now, you have already predicted several times. You have not changed your prognostication on what's going to happen with the House.
Yes.
You said it's going to flip. You believe it with all the things pointing our way. First, before I go to the Senate, how big of a flip do you think it's going to be? Will it be a tsunami or will it just be a trickling?
I think it'll be a wave. I could see upward to like 30 seats flipping, which would give maybe about a 15-seat cushion.
And that's a good thing for reasons. Can I tell you why I think that's a good thing? Because you don't have to lean on one far to the left, or he can try to stay more to the center with more of what people are asking for. But because that when you got no cushion, you got to do what you got to do to get some votes.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So I definitely think that on that front, it will change over. I think the only other side of things that we should be worried about is on the Senate side of things. Again, like I said, they have a path, but it's going to be very tight, and I think it's going to come down to the proper messaging. Elon Musk is now putting up money, but he's putting up money in deep red states to help candidates that have very low name recognition. So his strategy may not be the same as it was for 2024. So if he is distracted with strong Democratic candidates running in deep red states, that gives opportunity for the more purple states to be able to be flipped as well, too.
I thought that Tesla told him to get out of the business of the politics.
They did.
And he's able to still stay in the business.
He's still the majority stakeholder.
I guess that means nothing.
Still the boss.
Yeah. So you're feeling that the Senate could, not can, is.
I think as of right now, I would say I'm 65% sure it will flip.
The Senate?
Yes.
What states should we be looking for, Coby?
Ohio, Alaska, Maine, and North Carolina are those states that I believe are going to flip in that could flip in this upcoming election in November.
North Carolina, what makes you? Well, the governor was a pretty strong.
Roy Cooper was one of the most popular governors leaving office. He's still very popular there. And Tom Tillis was so unpopular, he decided to retire. So that gives even better calls for a potential win by former Governor Cooper.
But who's taking Tillis's? Who's running for his seat?
The former head of the RNC, Trump handpicked him.
Okay.
I forget his name off the top of my head, but
yeah.
He is not doing good fundraising wise. I think Roy Cooper has outraised him 4-1 as of right now, and that's just continuing to grow.
Okay. And when you say Ohio, that's where the vice president is from.
Yes.
Not his seat, I'm sure.
No,
it
is his seat.
It is his seat.
So when he was a U.S. Senator, he replaced Rob Portman.
Okay.
He was a U.S. Senator for 2 years. And in 2024, Sherrod Brown lost his Senate seat due to a heavy part of Elon Musk putting up tens of millions of dollars in that race, which he's not doing this time. Now, because our vice president had to resign from that seat, his seat, someone was appointed to that seat, which was the lieutenant governor of Ohio, and now the lieutenant governor is running for election to finish out the term. Former Senator Sherrod Brown, who's very popular still, is running in that seat, and Sherrod only lost by half of a percentage point.
Okay, so do you think the discontent of Trump is what can push Sherrod over?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then you talked about Alaska.
Yes.
She's retiring?
No. So Alaska, Dan Sullivan is running for re-election, and Mary Petrola, the former congresswoman out there who's very popular, who was almost a shoo-in to, if she ran for governor, to be the governor, has decided not to run for governor, but to run for U.S. Senate to help try to win that seat there and give us the majority so that they can make sure that they don't fully lose the Supreme Court.
Yeah, and let me tell you, that's going to be the push. We're going to have to make sure, because if Trump can put some more, or any Republican can put some more, it's done. Yeah. It's done. It's toasted. And I still think that there's some things they're going to have to do to get it balanced back out.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh,
all right.
Absolutely.
Well, Coby, you've answered all of my questions, and those of you who are watching us, I know you're saying it, but they keep going back to that midterms. I need everybody out there voting. Whether you're looking at us in Ohio, you're looking at us in North Carolina, get out there and vote. Tell everybody to vote, because we really got to flip both, because I do believe that there's going to be an impeachment, and this time we have to let it stick. Because if you don't, a monster is going to come back, and it's going to come back worse. Is there anything else left on your table, Brother Coby?
That's all I have.
Well, if that's all you have, listen, y'all need to stay warm. You need to stay toasty. That's the same word, pretty much. And it is cold outside, and I ask that you please be safe, most of all. Thank you so very much for watching us. Until the next time, God bless.
Take care, y'all.
You've been watching The Source with host Dr. C.T. Curry and co-host Coby Owens. Tune in every Sunday at 5 p.m. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for the latest episodes.
Hey, this is Pastor Curry, pastor of the Zion Fair Baptist Church, Wilmington's most exciting church, the church that love ya and anything you can do about it. What we're going to do today is we're going to have a real good conversation. I'm excited. Come on! Sunday at 11 a.m. Why don't you call somebody real quickly? Tell them Coffee with Curry is on. And let's get after it.